Hi class, today we are on Saxon Book 3, Lesson 42, and today we're going to talk about drawing fractions. So in our previous lesson, we talked about what is a fraction. In this lesson, the most important thing we are going to focus on is that a fraction is made up of a certain number of equal-sized pieces. So we call those congruent. They're the same shape and the same size. So for my first example here, we have lots of halves. This is a circle. It was split into two congruent pieces, and we shaded one of them. So it shows 1/2. Here's a square, same thing. Two congruent pieces, shade one. Triangle, two congruent pieces, shade one. Rectangle, two congruent pieces, shade one. Does it matter which side I choose to shade? No, not at all, as long as one of them is colored in, and the most important thing is that your sizes are exactly the same. Here I have a whole bunch of examples of what is not 1/2. This little sliver of a circle, not 1/2. Little tiny sliver of a square, not 1/2. Same thing with the triangle and the rectangle. I could flip this around. Here's my rectangle. I split it the same way I did before, but instead I shade in the big side. Now is that 1/2? No, it's still not 1/2 because my two pieces are not the same size. Okay? So the other fun thing we get to talk about today is how to show 1/3. So usually in third grade we do this with squares or rectangles. So here's my rectangle. I can split it this way. Those pieces are about equal. Or same rectangle. I can split it that way, and the pieces are about equal. Now I'm wanting to shade 1/3. So I already looked at my denominator and said, hey, I need 3 equal pieces. Now I have to look at my numerator and say, how many of these am I going to shade in? Well, in this case, 1. It doesn't matter which one I pick. So I could shade this in, and that would be 1/3. I could shade this in, and that would be 1/3, or I could shade the middle one in, and there's also 1/3. Same thing here, doesn't matter which one I pick, as long as I color in just one of them, and there is 1/3. Okay, so when my denominator is an odd number, that makes working with circles a little bit more difficult. If you're told draw a circle and divide it into thirds, we like to start by doing that, and then if we're making thirds instead of halves, that's a problem, because if I split this right there, sure, I have 1, 2, 3 pieces, but are they equal? Are they congruent? No, they're not the same size or shape, so that's not going to work. So instead, if I have to divide something into thirds or fifths, I like to start by putting a dot right in the center of my circle, and then I come down from the top just as if I was going to split it in half. And then once I get to the center, I'll move it off to the side just a little bit. So in this case, for thirds, here's one of my thirds, and then I take this big part here and split that in half. They're not exactly right, but you can tell that the person who was drawing this circle was trying to make equal congruent pieces, and as a teacher, that's all I'm looking for on your tests, okay? I want to see something like this, not this. And then you would shade 1/3 of it. Doesn't matter which third, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my examples for this lesson. I have a couple problems that I would like you to try at home, so if you have a whiteboard or a scrap piece of paper, Pause the video, go ahead and grab that right now, and then I'm going to tell you what to draw. So we're going to start with 1/2 of a circle. Draw a circle and shade in 1/2. As you're doing it at home, I'm going to put the answer up here on the board. There's my circle. And there's 1/2 of a circle. The next problem I want you to do is draw 1/3 of a square. 1/3 of a square. There's my square. You're drawing 1/3 of it. So here's one possible answer. If you had this, even if you shaded in the middle piece or the bottom piece, that would be correct. However, there's another possible answer. You could also have drawn your thirds this way, and again, doesn't matter which one you shade in. The next problem is 2/3 of a rectangle. Draw a rectangle and shade in 2/3. There's my rectangle. We want 2/3 of it. Here's one possible answer. You could have shaded in any of the two sections. And our other possible answer is drawing it like that, and again, shading in any of the two sections. Here I'm going to shade in the two outside sections. Is that still 2/3 even though it looks kind of funny? Yeah, it is. I colored in 2 out of 3 congruent parts. Okay, our final question for today, I'm going to show you the picture. This is a yes or no question for you. Is this picture showing you 1/3? Yes or no? No? Why not? I colored in one piece. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces total. Why do you tell me that's not 1/3? Oh, because the pieces aren't the same. You're so smart. You've got this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for you to work on your written practice for lesson 42. And I don't have the book in front of me, so you'll have to use the table of contents to find the page number for that one. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.